Good morning students. I welcome you all for commerce class. Today we are going to step into new chapter under unit 2, that is joint stock company. So joint stock company is a company. Don't think this is a different topic. It's just a company but a name with joint stock company. Students, this is another form of business organization. Form means what? Another type of business organization. Since there are so many disadvantages in sole trader form of organization, partnership form of organization came into existence. Same way, there were difficulties in expanding the partnership form of organization because of the rule that there must be minimum 10 in case of banking business and 20 in case of other business. So company means normally there will be more than 50, so that only this joint stock company came into existence with the disadvantage in partnership form of organization. We shall now move on with meaning of joint stock company. A joint stock company is a distinct type of business organization in order to overcome the limitations of sole trader and partnership concerns. So, the advancement in science and technology and the impact of industrial revolution have all necessitated a large amount of capital investment and highly sophisticated managerial skill for running a large scale industry. Partnership with limited capital and limited managerial ability was a added high risk of unlimited liability, also found unsuitable for running large scale industry. So, risk of unlimited liability was found in partnership. Because of that, this joint stock company came into existence. This joint stock company in India is governed by the Companies Act 2013. Earlier, the Companies Act was formed in 1956 and it was governed by Companies Act 1956. Now, after the Companies Act 2013 has been renewed, it has been governed by the Companies Act 2013. The new act has been divided into 29 chapters with 470 sections. This Companies Act 2013 came into force on 12th September 2013. With few changes like earlier private companies, maximum number of members was 50 and now it will be 200. So, listen carefully students. In case of private companies, maximum number of members was 50. Minimum 2 and maximum was 50 when in the year 1956 Act. But now when 2013 Act came into existence, now it will be 200 persons maximum for private companies. A new class of company is of 1% company is included in this act, that will be a private limited company. Now we shall move on with the definition. There are two definitions. One definition given by James Stephenson, another is section 2 of Companies Act 2013. So first I'll give the meaning of this first definition. A company is an association of many persons who contribute money or money's worth to a common stock and employ it in some trader or business and who share the profit and loss arising therefrom. So what is the meaning of this is a company is an association of persons. Association means what? Group of persons who contribute money or money's worth. What is meant by money or money's worth? They will contribute money. If not, they will contribute the necessary machineries or money's worth to a common stock and employ it in some trade or business. They will employ it in trade or business. What it is? They will buy shares by way of contributing money. And who share the profit and loss. They will also share the profit and loss which is arising from the company. That is, after doing the business, the profit and loss will occur. So in case if profit occurs, they will share the profit, they will receive the profit, and if loss occurs, they have to bear the loss. Next, it is defined by the Companies Act 2013. A company is an artificial person created by law having a separate entity with a perpetual succession and common seal. So, company means what? Artificial person. Artificial person, we are natural persons. Artificial means that particular company will run with persons. That's why it is denoted as artificial person created by law. Created by law in sense it is governed by law. It should be legal. And having separate legal entity. Separate legal entity means it is different from owners and the business. So the business is different from owner. In case of sole trader form of organization, we saw if owner is no more, the business also will come to an end. Same way partners. When partners are no more, when they try to dissolve the firm, or if they are incapable of doing the business, or if they become insolvent, that time the business will come to an end. But in case of company, the owner and the business are not the same, because even if the owner or a person working in the company organization, if they are affected or deceased or they become lunatic, the other persons who are in the company will carry on the business. So it has separate legal entity. And perpetual succession and common seal. Perpetual succession means continuation of life, continues the business. Men may come and go, but the business will move on forever. That is called perpetual succession. And a common seal means they have a seal for the company. So why they are affixing the seal? In order to identify which company it is. So they will have a common seal. Why the company is having seal? Because the company cannot sign any agreement. Since it is an artificial person, it is a building. Building cannot sign on its own. So that only they are having a common seal indicating the name of the company. Next we'll move on with characteristics features of a company. First one is separate legal entity. Already as I told, separate legal entity means the owner and the business are not one and the same. So the company is distinct and different from its members. It has its own seal and its own name. Its assets and liabilities are separate and distinct from those of its members. It can sue in its own name and can be sued by others. In short, it is considered as an artificial person created by law. Next characteristic feature is limited liability. In sole trader and partnership form of organization, we saw unlimited liability. Here, limited liability because the members of the company have limited liability, that is, only for the value of the share they have purchased, they will repay for the debt. Over and above the share value, they will not repay for the debts. So, the personal properties of the shareholders will not be held responsible. Next characteristic is perpetual succession. Perpetual succession means continuity of life. A company does not cease to exist unless it is specifically owned up or the task for which it is formed has been completed. So, a company is created by law and it can be wound up only through legal process. So, members may come and go, but the company will go on forever. But the changing of the members will not affect the life of the company. Next, we'll move on with separate property. So, a company is a distinct legal entity. A member cannot claim to be the owner of the company's property during the existence of the company. The shares of a public limited company is freely transferable than in case of private limited company, because the transferability of private limited company shares, there are certain restrictions in it. So, the transferor and transferee. Who's the called as transferor? The person who transfer his shares to another person is termed as transferor, and the person who receives that shares from the transferor is termed as transferee. Next characteristic feature is common seal. A company is an artificial person and does not have any physical existence. So, it can act through its board of directors and members for carrying out its activities and entering into various agreements. Such contracts must be under the seal of the company. So, the common seal is the official signature of the company. So, it cannot sign on its own, so that only the company has its common seal. So, any document not bearing the seal of a company may not be accepted as an authentic and may not have any legal force. Next characteristic feature is capacity to sue and being sued. So, what is the meaning of capacity to sue? That is, sue means, as already I told, filing a case against. So, the company can file case against any third person or outside. Same way, outsiders also can file case against the company. Next characteristic feature is separate management. A company is administered and managed by its managerial personnel, that is board of directors. Here, board of directors will be elected by the shareholders. So the shareholders are simply the holders of the shares in the company. So they will not necessarily deal in the manager's position, or they will not deal in the management. Only the board of directors will deal with the management and managing affairs of the company. The last characteristic feature is one share, one vote. So the principle one share, one vote principle is followed in the company. That means if a person has 10 shares, he can vote 10 times. If a person has 5 shares, he can vote 5 times. So one share, one vote principle is followed. Next chapter after joint stock company is cooperative society. So in case of cooperative society, only one member, one vote principle is followed irrespective of the number of shares held by a member. Next, we'll move on with advantages of joint stock company. First advantage is large capital. Large capital is possible in case of joint stock company, but it is not possible in case of sole trader or partnership. So, for example, Reliance has invested more than 25 crores in its telecom venture. See, it is possible, more capital is possible in case of company alone. For Reliance company as an example, see how much they are investing, 25,000 crores. It is utter impossible in case of sole proprietorship and partnership. So the next advantage is limited liability. So in case of limited liability, many persons come to invest the amount in the company. Case of limited by guarantee, his liability is restricted to the amount he has guaranteed to contribute in the event of winding up of the company. So next advantage is transferability of shares. The shares can be easily transferable. So there is liquidity of investment. Any shareholder can easily convert his shares into money by selling his shares. Next advantage is perpetual succession. Perpetual succession means continuity of life. Members may come and go. Company will go on forever. It continues to exist. This ensures continuity in operations and the company can undertake long-term investments. So normally they will believe in the company in order to invest the shares. Next is promotion of saving and investment habit. So while entering into a company by purchasing the shares, it means they are saving certain amount. So investment habit is created while purchasing the shares. A person can buy even one share from a company, or he can buy even more than one share from a company. Next advantage is risk bearing capacity. So the loss of the company is distributed over large number of shareholders because there will be more than 200 persons in the company. So the loss will be distributed accordingly. So each shareholder bears a very little amount of loss. Hence the company form of organization has risk bearing capacity. Next advantage is economies of large scale operation. Large scale operation is possible in case of company students because it can occupy or it can gather large capital. So as a result, it can drive all the advantages of large scale production. For example, Hero Motor Limited 2015, the world's largest seller of two-wheelers, manufactures motorbikes on a large scale and is able to enjoy cost efficiency. Next advantage is economic development. This company working system can also even develop the economy at large. How? By rapid growth of industries and trade in many countries. So by trading in many countries, what they will do? In turn, they will earn income. Since joint stock companies have large financial resources, they are able to undertake large scale production. So while undertaking a large scale production, they will try to satisfy the needs of more number of consumers. And also they will create large scale employment opportunities. They will promote balanced regional development and contribute substantially to the government by way of taxes. So how much they earn? Accordingly, they will pay taxes to the government. So these are the advantages, students. By this, we'll come to the end of this part. So we have started with new chapter, joint stock company. We have completed characteristics and advantages. Thank you, students. We'll meet up tomorrow.